Good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I am your host, and I am excited about today. This lady, from what I understand, this lady is a rock star. She's a new friend of mine on Facebook, and I was introduced to her by a mutual friend, Mindy Rosen. I want to welcome my friend, Angela Brooks, to the show. Angela, welcome.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful
Awesome.
today. Had to move my coffee cup out of the way. It was kind of in the shot there.
Got mine.
Hey, so you, from what I understand, you've actually spoken on stage with our buddy Ray Higdon, and
I have, and that was super cool.
that's so awesome. I love Ray.
I've been on there 3 times. So
Three times on Ray's stage. You must be a rock star. I can't wait to hear about this. I see
he's good to me.
Frank Criniti is on the stream right now watching. So he's one of the number 2 car salesmen in the world, actually. Yeah, so we got some rock stars on here. Share this out. This is going to be a great story. I just have a good feeling about this. So, Angela, I created this show to help people who are stuck. I've been very, very blessed and fortunate in my life. And when I created this show, it was to help people. And I have a feeling you're going to help a lot of people today.
Oh, I hope so. That would be powerful and awesome.
Right. Well, let's start. Why don't you start with telling everybody, where you were born and raised? How about that? Start there.
Well, they can probably tell by my dialect that I am from Kentucky. Everybody says Tennessee, but I am in Russellville, Kentucky. That is western part. I was born and raised here. I've lived other places, but always came back. This seems to be home. My husband and I, we've been at this location for 16 years. I was a nurse for 30 years. I worked 25 and a half of that in psychiatric nursing, which was a facility that brought in people off the street, straight out of prison. We had people coming in to be surveyed to see if they could stand trial in court for some horrendous things. So I've had opportunity to talk to some pretty interesting people. And I did that for 25 and a half years. And I worked on the units with the patients for 21 before I went up to the nursing education training department, where I worked with all of the staff in the hospital. And I hit, as your show says, I hit a wall, because at that 20-year mark, I'm like, this is kind of like Groundhog Wednesday. I'm doing the same thing over and over. Now, on our floors, there was never anything the same from one day to another. But, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive 40 minutes to work. I'm going to work 13 hours, which I would work 3 13-hour shifts on night shift. And there was no raises. I mean, the state of Kentucky is pretty stingy with their money. Hello. Yeah. And so we didn't get a raise for the last 8 years that I worked.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And so it was kind of like, what is it that I can do? Because gas still goes up, food still goes up, everything still goes up, but your pay is staying the same. You feel that crunch.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was accidentally actually introduced to the product, or to network marketing, I should say, not necessarily to the product.
Let me ask you this. I don't want to go too fast into where you are right now. I'd like a little bit more, so you went to school in Kentucky, in Russellville. That's where you were, you went to high school and all that?
High school, yep. Went to Russellville High School.
Did you go, and so you were a nurse, so you went to college?
Yep.
Yeah. Where'd you go to college?
School in Alabama.
Oh, wow.
And then, Yeah, and then transferred to Western Kentucky University, which is like 30 minutes from here.
Okay. Okay. And you're in so Russellville's where? The
Western part of Kentucky.
Okay.
You
Okay.
probably know what Louisville. Well, I think y'all talked about this last night on
Yeah.
Louisville.
Somebody said, who was it on yesterday's show? Yeah. He
I
said,
think it was yesterday.
and he said, Lewis, how did he say it?
He said Louisville, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it is Louisville.
I know. That's what I'm like. It's Louisville. I'm pretty sure.
It is. It is.
So what was it like though, growing up as a kid? Did you have any challenges as a kid that you?
Absolutely. You know, when you're growing up in a small town, as people have always said, you're conditioned to what you're taught, not what you know. And so I had a dream to be in business. I didn't know what kind of business, but I said it for years.
As a kid?
As a kid. It's like, wow. I want to be in business, because my stepdad was a tinker person. He loved to go to, like gun shows and knife shows and stuff. And he always wanted to have a business in his garage. And that was just not something that he ever followed through with. And I've always wanted to do business. And I was told that business was something you'd stay broke at, that you'd never make any money doing. And so, you believe what you're told, because these people had never built a business, so they didn't know any different.
Right.
And so I went to nursing school, because I was married to a military guy, and nursing would travel. And so that's where I started with nursing. That was not a lifelong dream, but it was something that fell in my lap at the time. So
okay, there we go. So I wanted to get a little bit of a backstory on, because, well, I mean, if you have dreams of being a business owner as a kid, and you just kind of you found yourself as an adult squashing your dreams.
100%, because I thought about that for years and years, and I kept going, well, I can't do that because you're not going to make any money.
Because somebody else told you that.
Because somebody who never had a business, who had never built a business,
right?
Told me that. So
important to be careful who you're listening to and getting advice from.
Well, and it doesn't matter who it is or how much you love them. If they've never done it, they're not the advice person, So
I see my buddy Scott Simons just jumped on. He's from West Virginia. He's from like out in the hollers of West Virginia.
Gosh.
Love this dude, man. So okay. So after 20 years of being a nurse, you said, I can't live like this anymore.
No. And you start going to work and you're doing the same thing, and it's kind of like, is this what I'm going to do for the next 20? I mean, I could still be there if I wanted to.
Sure.
But it was like I was clock watching is what I would call it. Yep. I'd get to work and you're like, when is my first break? When is lunch break? Oh, it's almost time to go home. Even though I loved working with my patients, I was clock watching. And so to me, that was my cue. Something has to change.
Wow. So you, at 20 years ish, you made the decision to do what? What was next? How did it happen?
Actually, a friend of mine, we were sitting on night shift. It was like after 1 or 2 in the morning, and she had a product that had ephedrine. If you've ever worked night shift, you want to stay awake at night, because I was sleeping maybe 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
And so she told me about this product she had, and I'm like, oh, give it to me. Let me try it. So I ended up using her product, and then some of my coworkers were wanting to also use that. And she's going, you can make money with this. And I'm like, I don't know how to make money with that. So it started there, just simply, literally selling product out of the trunk of my car, because she didn't tell me you signed people up. She just said, you sell the product. So what did I do? I ordered this huge box and just sold it for cash it's like a dealer. I'm like, oh my God, when I think back, it's like
a nurse.
I'm a nurse
in
Kentucky
out of the trunk of her car. Wow.
There you go.
There's probably nothing wrong with that.
Not a thing. In a state parking lot. Go with there. Oh God. But
so you Okay, so where did it go from there?
I learned that you could sign people up. And so I started adding people to my team. And this company went out of business. The owner passed away and the company changed and did all kind of weird things. So I started looking for something else. I don't know. I had like maybe three other things in between where I'm at now. And
Wow.
I had a lot of figuring out to do because nobody in my circle did this at all. So they all thought I was crazy. And I'm like, well, I'm working at Crazy House. I guess it's rubbed off on me. I don't know.
Oh my
But
God.
they all made fun of me. They thought it was the craziest thing they'd ever seen.
Hold it. Who made fun of you? The other nurses, people
Absolutely. My coworkers for 20 years are like, you're crazy. You're not
working
going to
in
make any money.
in the psych ward at the hospital.
Yeah. And they called me crazy.
And then, like ring ring, hello pot,
Hello.
kettle. So you learned that you could sign people up. You were it was a network marketing company.
Yep.
You were a nurse for 20 years. You started selling drugs. I'm kidding. Selling this this ephedrine product out of the trunk of your car in the hospital parking lot.
Literally.
Wow. And then so you learned you could sign people up, but you said that the owner of the company died and they went out of business.
Everything about the business changed, and it was like the product changed, everything. So it was a complete different, I couldn't relate to it. So
I gotcha. So what happened next? Did you just go back to nursing, say the heck with it, I'm not doing that?
No, I started looking that because, you get just enough knowledge that you're going, oh, there's something to this.
I got the bug.
1997-ish, 98.
Yeah.
That's when the internet started ramping up. And that's when you could go online and start, seeing the world.
Yeah.
And I had a business trainer that I was working with that I had hired like super cheap. She was amazing smart. And I literally went to a mastermind on my credit card. I'd never traveled by myself. I had never gone to any kind of trainings like this. And I was like, okay, the whole thing is going to cost me $3,000, airline ticket, hotel, and food. And you have to buy clothes so you can fit in.
Right.
That has changed as well. But yeah, I went to this training and I was sitting beside a lady who had the products that I'm with now. And I'm like, what is that? And why are they all over the table? And so she started talking to me and I was like, this fits into my history, to who I am. And that's something I can get behind and talk about. So I joined her literally on the spot.
And that was in 90 what?
That was in 2010.
Oh, okay.
But the internet, as far as Facebook and all that, it didn't start popping until it was 2000 something.
Yeah, Facebook was like 2004, 5, something like that.
Internet didn't exist until 96, 97, because I had that amazing thing. I got internet back then, and I didn't even know why I needed internet. That's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, 2010 is when I joined that company.
But the company, the first company, like that died out in, you said, the late 90s?
Yeah, late night, because I joined this one in 2010. So that was 2007, 8? I don't know.
So there was a stretch of time there where you weren't doing anything, or?
Yep, just nothing. Just
really?
Looking. Yeah.
Just being a nurse still?
Yep.
Wow.
Just doing my thing.
So you went in 2010, you joined another company.
Yep.
So that was the second company you joined?
That's probably about the fourth, because there was 2 or 3 in there that, like an energy drink company, and they never did anything for me, or I didn't do anything for them, I should say.
Yeah, I get it. So in 2010, you joined the company you're still with right now.
Yep.
Wow. And what kind of products do they have?
These are essential oils. Of course, we've got
Okay.
supplements, but it's mostly the essential oils,
Okay.
which is in everything.
My wife's been in a couple of those. We have more. I think we have more essential oils than the companies themselves stock.
We have a lot. Yes, we do.
Geez. So you got into this new company, and what happened? Did everybody just show up at your door and say, "Hey, we want to partner up with you in this"?
Not quite, but it
Yeah.
sounds good. I was, when I started this company, I was already blogging. That's how I built my business because I didn't know any different. And I started a blog basically as it was kind of like a journal for me.
Okay.
Because I would have such crazy stories when I would leave work that I was like, nobody will ever believe this, ever. So I would just journal it out. Of course, I wasn't telling people's names or none of that, but it was almost a stress relief for me. And then in my blog post, I would talk about the products that I would use on me for stress that helped my patients. And then all of a sudden, this blog started getting attention from other nurses, like literally across the globe. And I'm like, how did you find my blog? What did you do to find that? But it was on Google, of course, WordPress, and telling my story. I wasn't doing anything fancy because I was not a fancy writer. And so when I went and signed up with this company, I wrote in my journal that I had traveled to this event, that I found this product, and this is what it is. This is what it does. And I literally sold $300 before I got on the airplane to come home.
Wow.
Through my blog. And so.
And what year was that? Was when you joined?
2010. Literally 24 hours later, I made $300. So that was my money back in my pocket immediately.
So wait, so your blog was that popular already?
No, it was not that popular. That's what made me go, what just happened?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It just happened to be in front of the right person. They say you don't have to say the right thing to the wrong thing to the right person. Well, that was it. Wow. And so I was kind of like, so if that person bought because of this, and I literally just wrote a blog post and put it up there, and I had an ugly link straight to the company. It wasn't even a pretty link or nothing. It was straight up ugly pink. It was bad. Wow. And so for somebody to actually buy something, I was like, how do I repeat that? How do I duplicate this?
Oh my gosh. Wow. So that's what you did? You started blogging more?
Oh yeah, like 2 or 3 times a week. Wow. And then I wrote until I had like 150 blog posts. And we're talking, when I say blog post, it was less than 500 words. They weren't like extremely long because people just don't read that long. They just don't. And I knew that because I have a short attention span. But I started blogging about that, and people were finding me, and I learned how to do tags, and I learned how to do, the different things for SEO. You just kind of learn that stuff as you go.
Right.
It was quite a learning process.
So you started, wow, that's incredible. And that was 2010. Mm-hmm. Is that what you started the blog in 2010 or a little bit before that?
A little bit before. Yeah.
How many, when you sold that first $300, how many blog subscribers did you have?
I don't even know, because I didn't track stuff back then.
Okay.
And
like 5 or 500?
I would go towards the 5 more than the 500. It was just, and I think maybe I blogged a year. And so it was less than 100 posts probably.
Wow.
But it was, that was kind of an eye opener for me. I was like, so what is this blogging thing?
Right. Wow. So you started, that's when you just turned it up.
That's when research started. Of course, the internet then is a little bit more usable. You can get out there and start searching for people and other bloggers. And I just started like following big bloggers and looking at what they did.
Yeah.
And then I would, add that to mine. Oh, he's got his name and his picture down here. I need to put mine on here.
Yeah.
And you'd take my ugly BlackBerry that took horrible pictures, take a picture, put it on your blog.
I remember those.
Oh, they were so terrible.
I know. I got the iPhone 11 now, and it's like, good Lord have mercy. The difference
is, I wish I'd have kept my old BlackBerry just for antique purposes.
We have one. We have my wife's old one. Yeah. It's insane. Like my daughter found it, and she's like, "What is this?"
You're like, "Let's not talk about it."
Yeah. So you it was in 2010 that you started like really blogging. So what happened from there? Did you just keep making $300 every now and then?
It took me probably another month to get another person signed up.
Okay.
Because, I go back to work and I'm excited. I've been on this trip and everybody's going, "What'd you do in Chicago?" They wanted to know what I drank, what I ate, and what I saw.
Right.
They didn't want to know nothing about this product thing.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, but this is what I got while I was there.
Right.
So I was using them on me and seeing a difference on my patients. Like, I literally got called into the office because they were like, "You have no PRNs, which is extra medication during the shift, on your shift. What are you doing different?" And I'm like, talking to them, like being nice to them. I don't know. But I just wasn't, I was a lot of extra meds, and it's because I was putting the oil on me and then going to have a conversation, and it was working.
Right.
So the other nurses, it's like, "Well, give me some of that stress stuff." So I signed up maybe 2 of the nurses in the beginning, and then nothing.
Now, when you say you sign them up as customers, or you sign them up as
customers? Yeah, just customers.
Just customers.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so then it was a long cricket.
For how long?
Probably 3 years, almost 4.
Oh.
Until I retired. And then they wanted to know what it was, because I was traveling. I was going to Utah. I was going to California. And, usually people who retired from our facility stayed at home because their retirement check wasn't big enough to do anything or go anywhere.
Right.
And literally when I retired, I signed up 5 girls into the business within 6 months.
Not as customers, but as
business builders.
Yeah. Wow.
Because they were like, "I don't know what it is you're doing. I just want to do some of it." And I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
I think I think that's called attraction marketing.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Right. So you and so 3 years later you started signing. You signed up how many? 5, you said?
It was like 4 to 5 people from my hospital. And
wow,
they really got their attention when I retired, and I was still like having a fun life.
So was that like 2013?
2014, December the 14th of 2000.
Hey, that's my daughter's birthday.
So a good day.
Okay, so December 14th of 2014, you retired.
Mm-hmm.
And
after 25 and a half.
Oh, wow. And so you started signing some people up. What happened from there? Because that's only 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's just 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, the month that I retired from nursing, I didn't go to work and talk about all the stuff that I did because they didn't believe what I was doing anyway. I just let my actions show them that I was doing things. And that was my first month that I made $10K a month. And
wait. And wait. You made $10,000 in 1 month?
Yeah.
By signing up 5 people.
No, not by 5 people. No, that was just 5 people from my hospital. I'd been signing up other people in that 4 years. Just 5 from the hospital. I got you.
Okay. But you were up to, and this is you just retired and now you're making $10,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what a nurse brings in though in a retirement check, isn't it?
Not even close. That keeps you at home. It keeps food on the table. It keeps lights on, and that's about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I had worked in silence for 4 years. It was 3 years and 10 months when I hit my 10K a month. And, I would go to work, and the more that I made in my network marketing company, it just didn't make sense to keep going to work because it was costing me money to go to work.
Wow.
I would tell people I'm getting ready to retire. I'm going to put in my papers as soon as my time comes up. Literally called Frankfurt, and they said, "Oh, you could retire today." And I said, "Send me my papers." I mean, it wasn't even a thought. It was like, send me my papers. And I had them turned in by that Friday.
And I'll bet you everybody that you worked with at the psych ward thought 25 years of working with all these psychotics, and she now become one.
Yeah, literally, they did not hire in for my job for 90 days because they thought I was coming back.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh no, you can hire somebody else because this girl ain't filling that spot. I'm done. Toast.
Wow, that is so awesome. So and let me ask you this. So at that point, when you started, like, you got the 5 girls for I assume girls, I don't know.
Yep, they were.
Yeah. So from the hospital, you'd signed up some, were you like, because I get people that are not in Ray Higdon's group, or maybe they are, but they don't.
Oh, you're blinking. You're frozen.
Am I back?
There you are. There you are.
I don't know what's going on. We're having a little bit of an internet hiccup.
I hope it's not mine because mine gets sluggish sometimes.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yep. Okay. Can hear you and see you just fine now.
So what were you dropping the hammer on people like I get in Facebook Messenger all the time? You know what I'm talking about with the Messenger things, right?
Yeah.
Like, good Lord have mercy. But what were you doing? Just blogging still?
I was using Facebook, I was using Twitter, and I was using a blog.
Wow.
And I didn't know any of that messenger trick stuff until 3 years ago when I started working with Ray and them, which was 14, 15, it's about 2016, I think. Yeah. So all of that, all of my building was just, going to events, meeting people, connecting with them on Facebook, Twitter, blogging that was my biggest tool. I didn't know all the other stuff yet. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So, that was 2014 or so.
Yeah.
And so how's it been going over the last 4 or 5 years? You from what I understand, you've done pretty well.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Last November, I hit my first 100,000 in volume a month. And that was incredible because I would have never thought just buying a package of little oils that I would ever see 100,000 in a year, much less in 30 days.
Hold it. $100,000 in income.
Product volume, not income.
Oh, what's
I would love for that. Yes, thank you. Bring that on.
Yeah, let's roll. So 100,000 in product volume means that
your product sales. Yep.
Okay.
So we have what we call OGV, which is your volume for your team.
Yeah.
We hit 100,000 and 100,000, a million. I'm sorry, I said 100.
Oh,
yeah, in a month, not 100,000, a million in the month of November.
That's insane.
Like this month already, we're already at 800,000. So Black Friday is coming, so that'll go up.
Yeah, that might a little bit. Wow.
So
wow, that is unbelievable. So you're like that. That's got you got to be making some decent
It's pretty good. It's
Decent
pretty good
money
money.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you think? And I look, I know a lot of people in network marketing, and there's a lot of people that want to be successful in network marketing, and they're very passionate about it. But there's also a lot of people that never get there, that never get even close to the level that you're at.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's probably the majority of them.
Yep.
What do you think the number one what's the number one secret to your success in this? Has it been just luck?
No, I don't believe in luck. I show up every day. When I was working night shift and I was tired of getting 3 and 4 hours of sleep, I could continue doing that for the next 20 years, or I could do the work to get me out of that situation. People just don't show up. Like I did a master class a couple of months ago. There was 100 people in there. And by the time you finished a 12-week course, there might have been 10 people still, not literally 10, but half your class doesn't show up every day just to do the simple steps. And showing up on Facebook, showing up, doing a blog. I do a blog once a week. I do a podcast once a week. And I'm doing a video every single day. So I think the number one thing that people just don't do is show up to do just a little bit of work. If you did a little bit for 25 years, where would I be had I been consistent with that?
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm releasing a course today that it's that, and that's one of the things that I'm talking about. Like, you got to show up. You just got, like, people don't. Like I think that there's so much fear.
Oh, huge.
Have like, oh, I'm gonna get judged, or does my hair look good enough, or oh, look, I'm going bald, maybe I shouldn't do, or and that's just not the case. I mean, you get people that talk smack, but so what?
Yeah, they're going to judge you anyway. It doesn't make, so you might as well give them something to talk about.
That's right.
They talked about me when I left. They thought I was insane because, insane, that I was leaving my job, my secure job, and the golden handcuffs literally had me tied to this job for 25 years because I was afraid to leave. Like I broke out into a sweat the day that I handed in my papers. I'm like, dear God, well, we're going to go broke. But I had money coming in already.
Yeah.
But that was just a mental thing. It's like the vacation, the sick time, the asking permission to have time off is like, I can continue doing that, or I can show up over here and be scared and do it anyway. So,
and do you find, and that's the thing, people, I think we get stuck in these cycles. And now here you are probably making more a month than you used to make a year.
I make more in the first 7 days of the month that I did the entire month of nursing.
Wow.
And so as soon as I hit those numbers and I started doing the numbers, how much gas does it take to drive to work? How much you paying for lunch? And I'm like, it's time. It's just time. So I was not one of those that says, quit your job and go make it happen. No, I had income coming in. You still got to keep the lights on. You still got to buy kids food. So, I had a retirement check coming in, but I also had my network marketing company had tripled what I was making in nursing. And so it was just, my gut told me it was time.
Yeah. Wow.
And I walked out that door that day, hit the time clock, and never even looked over my shoulder. Been in the parking lot since.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you, what's the secret is just showing up?
You got to have some skills. There's a lot of people that want to come into business and they think that they're going to do it with the employee mindset, and you're not. That's when I started investing in coaching. You could ask Anu, who works with Ray, when I signed up in his coaching, I was sitting at his table and she told me, how much it was going to cost for coaching and what I was going to get out of it. I broke out into a sweat. I thought, what am I doing investing this kind of money in me? It's like, am I really worth that?
Right.
But I didn't hesitate when I went to nursing school and dropped a whole lot more money. So a lot. And then my time to learn. So I got into this mastermind with putting myself around people that were freaking just rock star amazing. They feed into you, that, they listen to what you're trying to do, and they're going, why don't you do this? Why don't you? So it didn't all come from just Ray, but he builds a community that was just phenomenal to be in, which has helped me along the way many times. Like meeting Mindy and her introducing me to you.
Yeah.
That's a circle that was built because of getting into the masterminds to learn skills to do bigger than I think that I could even do.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And I think most people think small. We all think too small. And we look at everybody at the top and go, oh, I could never do that. Why the hell not? Yes, you can.
Right.
It's like you just have to get in position and start learning and follow somebody that is doing what you want to do. I followed Ray simply because he was a blogger. That's how I found him.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'd seen him on GoPro, and of course I Google everybody that's on GoPro stage.
Yeah.
And I found that he was a blogger, and then he had an event in April, and I'm like, hey Dale, I'm going to Florida to see this dude Ray. And he's like, okay. So I flew down there with not intentions to get in his mastermind, but just to learn.
Yeah.
And I was sitting.
Ray, by the way, we won't make this show about Ray, but he is a brilliant dude.
Absolutely.
He's incredible. So
you got to learn. You got to get around people to, so you can get out of your own way.
How important is it, in your opinion, to be around? I mean, because especially in network marketing, well, and really in any business you're going to start, you're going to have people that think you're crazy, right? It doesn't matter what it is. And then eventually those people come back and ask you for a loan. But right. Hey, what you getting me for Christmas? You got all the money now. Right. It came to you so easy. You're just lucky. So what do you? How important is it to be around the right people?
To me, it's everything, because when you travel to events and you're sitting after the event having lunch or dinner or drinks or whatever with people, you learn stuff that you wouldn't get anywhere else. Like when I go and try to have lunch with some of my friends, excuse me, that are not involved in business, the conversation is very similar to what it was 10 years ago.
Right.
But you get around people who you just sit there and you mastermind and you talk about, different ideas, things that you can do that doesn't cost you money to do in business, like doing the 100 days, 100 videos is what I'm doing until February the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have thought of that on my own, because I'm like, oh, doing a video every day. Are you kidding me?
Right.
But why not? Why not? Natasha challenged me, so here we go.
Natasha Hazlett.
Uh-huh.
I love her.
Yeah, Natasha and I hooked up at an event.
Yeah.
Probably 8 years ago, and just stayed in touch.
She's amazing. Yeah. Her book is unbelievable.
Extremely. And
it is unbelievable.
If people don't have a highlighter in their hand, marking little nuggets in there, they're crazy, because it is so much detail.
Well, I'm friends with her. She was scheduled to be on the show, and then she got sick after speaking at some event. And so I gotta get her back on the schedule. She's amazing. So okay. Now this is a question I ask, there's two questions. So the first one is this: in your opinion, and I know you've talked to thousands of people, in your opinion, what do you think the number one thing is? Everybody says fear, by the way, but what's the number one thing that is holding people back in life from achieving massive success?
They don't believe they can. They just don't believe it. It sounds good when you say it, but if you don't believe it inside your gut and know that there's something else, you would not be listening, number one, to this. Right. You would not be reading the books. You would not be reading the blog post. you wouldn't be following certain people on social media if you didn't think there wasn't something there. You're following them there because your internal guidance system sent you there.
Right.
So people just don't listen to their intuition. And they think, oh, not me. That can't happen for me. But I believe that there's a whole lot bigger out there for me that I just haven't stepped into yet. I just hadn't met that right connection, everything is a path.
Yeah.
And I just think that people don't have enough belief, and they're like, how do you get belief? And you've got to get around people that already believe it. And it literally melts onto you. You can't help but to have higher belief when you're around people, number one, who are doing it and that are talking different from your coworkers.
Yeah.
I mean, your coworkers are hating the supervisor and hating the vacation holiday schedule, and you need to be around people who are talking about bigger things. So.
That's so true. I mean, you're 1,000% correct. 1,000%. I think that again, people are that belief system, and I think I think that it's all programmed. It's learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It's learned. We learn to accept what our parents, teachers, preachers, priests, rabbis, whoever they're telling us. This is the limit.
And you cannot. You
can't go past this. Nobody in our family goes to college.
And right? I believe that everybody should be a generational chain breaker, that you should go forward and leave all that garbage behind you.
Amen, sister. I agree with you. I agree. So let's say that, and I've actually, owning a business can be challenging.
Oh,
I mean, it can be challenging. Have you ever been in the position of, and I don't know, maybe you haven't because you had the nursing income as well, but have you ever been at a place where it's like, this is it, it's over, we can't pay the bills, we're screwed here, it's not going to work out?
Oh yeah.
Have you?
Oh yeah. When I was 16, I got married because you're smart when you're 16. So you do everything. Yeah. You do everything great when you're 16. And I got married and moved to Italy.
Perfect. That sounds like a perfect plan.
It sounds fabulous, doesn't it? You're living in Italy with a house with marble floors, no furniture. I didn't even have a refrigerator, and I'm not even joking, for the first 3 months that I lived there, because you're 16. You're not very resourceful. And who's going to hire you? Nobody. Nobody. Because I had to finish my high school education, and until I got that, they didn't want to hire me.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to ask his OIC, which is his officer in charge, where do you buy furniture? Where do you get furniture? And they use the military surplus store or whatever, and they brought a bed, a refrigerator, a kitchen table, and I don't know, some kind of other little, like a coffee table or something. That's what I had.
Wow.
And so when somebody says, oh, you've always had it together, and I'm like, nope, I've had a life where I literally didn't have $5 in my pocket, because he had it, not me.
Right.
And so he was an E4. So if anybody knows anything about the military, we were starving.
You were what? Sorry, there was an internet hiccup.
We were starving.
Oh yeah.
So if you know anything about an E4, that's not a lot of money. I think, I don't know, 20,000 a year.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So if somebody, let's say that, and you've probably received these phone calls, I have, somebody calls you up and says, I really admire where you are, your success level. But I would love to get there someday, but right now I can't even pay my electric bill. My car got repoed last week. I'm getting evicted from our apartment, or whatever it is. I mean, somebody that's really, really down, and I've been there. So I have some empathy. I don't have sympathy, but I have empathy.
Right.
What do you say to that person to help them? And you can't say, hey, sign up for this, because maybe they don't have the $100 or whatever it takes to sign up, 500, whatever it takes, right? Maybe they don't have that. So what do you say to them to help get them over that hump and into life?
What is it we can do to generate money? Is there stuff that you've got that you don't need that we can sell? There was a lady, I don't know what her total finances were, but I know she had 6 children. They were living in the basement of one of her in-laws. She wanted this kit so bad that she was working 2 jobs. Her husband was working 2 jobs. I don't know how they was putting the table. She generated enough extra, like she was cooking, baking things. She was just selling all kinds of stuff until she got her kit. And then she didn't have the money to do, like buying ads or whatever. So she started doing in-person classes to get people to sign up. Very good speaker, very good people person. And she could fill a room with 25 to 50 people in the beginning. It took her 10 months. She became a platinum, and then she is a diamond leader underneath me now. And she's been in this for...
What's that mean? I mean, diamond leader means she makes what, $500 a month?
30,000. So that's not bad.
30 grand a month. And she couldn't even afford to buy the kit in the beginning.
No.
That is so amazing. I love hearing
She did whatever it took. I mean, she did whatever it took. And then she just knew that if she filled a room with, some friends, just listen to me talk. And they did. And so she came in like a bulldozer. I've never seen anything like it. But she's got a phenomenal story.
But I mean, I think that, I had my buddy Jeffrey Gittimer and Grant Cardone were on a live stream with me, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And it was funny. They were kind of not arguing, but we were talking about the economy and the state of the economy. And it seems to be in pretty good shape, but I think that there's still a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck that cannot, they just can't figure out how to, and the programming of, rich people are evil and money is the root of all evil and all that blah, 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 which I don't buy into in any way.
Right.
But like those people that are struggling, like what's the solution? What do you think? I mean, if you could get the whole world into one room and say, here's your problem, you need to,
turn off the TV.
Amen.
If you can tell me how many shows are on TV, then you've got time to do something different.
Yep.
And I know you've got your favorite shows. I have one. Literally, This Is Us. That's the only thing that I watch.
Yeah.
But if you're watching TV and every show that's on, you've got 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon to do something different. Yep. So when somebody says, I don't have time, and I'm like, let's talk about this. What do you do in the afternoon when you come home? What's the first thing you do? What's the second thing you do? And get them to tell you what their afternoon looks like. Okay, your kids go to bed at 8 o'clock. Now what? Not that kids go to bed at 8 o'clock, but that's hilarious.
Right.
But when your kids are down, what do? Well, I just want to relax. Well, I get that. But I also wanted to relax, but I knew that I could do my power hours in the afternoon, or I could stay in nursing for another 30 years. That was my choice. So I just got rid of TV and I'm doing business engaging activities and connecting with people. And you just have to want it, I guess, bad enough.
But I mean, by most people's standards, my sister was a nurse for 16 years. Then she became a nurse practitioner. And she still is. So and I know what kind of money she made. I mean, and makes, I mean, by most standards, she made really, really, really good money. And I'm sure that you did by most people's standards, right?
Yeah. Right.
But there was something else inside you that said, I've had some amazing people on and you're one of them, but there was something inside of you that said, this isn't enough. This is not enough. This is not, and you did it for 25 years. That's not like a 30-day stint. That's
Right.
25 years you did a job. And
Yeah.
at 20 years, you said, there's more. This isn't, I'm not living up to my potential or something. What was it? What was it that
Right.
made you go, I gotta get more?
Well, there job positions, people would get into a state position and they did not move. They stayed there till they died or they got fired.
Yeah.
And so there were no side positions to get into other than to where I was. And when the education came open, I'm like, I'll do it, because I wanted something different. And then when I got in that and it became very repetitive, I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm grateful for this. I appreciate it, but I don't want to do this for 20 years.
Right.
And so I'd hit every ceiling in the facility. There was nowhere else for me to go. So it was kind of like just routine over and over. And I thought, and another thing is I always had to ask permission for time off. Had to have, can I have this day off for my son's birthday? Can I have this day off for my birthday? I got tired of asking somebody permission. Can I have a life? And it truly pissed me off to the point that I had to get out. I was like, I don't want to ask you permission for anything.
Yeah.
So that was something when I retired. It probably took me a good 90 days, maybe even 6 months to get my mindset that when I made my first trip and I didn't have to ask for permission, it was kind of like, this is really nice. Yeah, it took me a while to get out of the employee mindset and into an entrepreneur where I made my own decisions. So,
and that feels good.
Oh, that feeling alone,
Yeah.
you just get all sassy.
Right.
You just get all sassy with it. And, I started posting my trips, which I do always. And people started following my journey all the time that says, thank you for sharing your trips. How did you get there? What is it you're doing? Well, let me tell you, you can do this too. It's like, I'm willing to work with you.
But people are like, if I would have come to you, because I've been an entrepreneur my entire adult life, and I was just talking about this yesterday, and I, talked to other people about it. But back, I'm 51 years old. So back when I was 21, starting my first business, or 22, however old I was, the word entrepreneur, it existed, but nobody used it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like nobody used that word. Like it was just like, you just started.
People thought that was broke people.
Right. Right. So, I look at, if I would have come to you at 10 years into your nursing career, or 8 years, 7 years in, and said, hey, you got so much more potential, and you're just not, you just got to take a chance. You got to do something different. You'd have told me I was crazy. Probably get out of here. I got a good job. I work in a psych ward. Let me check you out, dude. I think you got problems.
Yeah, because in my area, that was the highest paying hospital with the most benefits.
Wow.
And, like when I retired, I get a check, and then I get my insurance paid for the rest of my life. That's what people work for, is they want their entire life for insurance and a small check.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now that you're sitting at home watching Days of Our Lives every day, what else do you wish you could do?
Right.
And but at 10 years in, if you'd have told me, because my conditioning, my own conditioning was, oh, I can't do that. I'm not good enough.
Right.
This is what I'm supposed to do.
Wow.
But time you're inside going, this is not all.
But people are conditioned. People are conditioned to believe that.
Absolutely.
The majority of the world is.
Absolutely. Because I listened to the people as I was growing up who had never built a business telling me I couldn't have one.
Right.
And, for years after I got into business and I was doing well, nobody talked about that. That was silence in my family. Nobody asked about my trips. They didn't ask how's business. None of that conversation until I started getting on stage, and they're like, well, what did you do this weekend? Yeah, I just hung out with some people.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing though? It's the people that I think that it can be the people that are closest to us. That and
I lost some of my best friends.
I don't think that they're intentionally, like there's not some hidden agenda to try to keep you down. And but I think that their programming spills over and becomes our programming.
Right. And they don't know what to do with it. They don't even know how to talk to you. It's
right.
You're a new you,
yeah.
And they will. It's like crabs in a bucket. They're going to try to pull you back into what they're used to,
yeah.
And you have to surround yourself with new people, and sometimes that's painful.
Yeah.
I mean, when I lost some of my very close friends that I thought was my bestest buddies, and you know, when I started doing well, they stopped talking to me, and it was like, okay, so you weren't so cool after all.
Haters gonna hate.
They are. That's all right.
And again, I don't think that I really truly don't think that it's about well, it has nothing to do with you, obviously.
No,
it's them, and I think that if they it's honestly I want to say jealousy, but it's more like they're seeing your success. They're seeing that you went out, took a chance, that you're doing all this stuff, and they can't find that in themselves, but they want to.
Yeah. And, you know, of all people, my best friends, my close people, I would help them first. It's like, I want you to go to the top with me, because who wants to be at the top where you don't know anybody?
Right.
But, you know, you can't drag a dead body up the hill. You just, if it's not in them, you can't drag people. And I think that was the hardest thing to get used to, is like, you have to just keep moving.
Yeah. Wow. So before we end this, it's been 57 minutes already. That's insane.
No, I just saw that.
The heck? So what is your number one, for anybody on here watching right now or any replay viewers, what is your number one biggest piece of advice that you would give anybody right now that's struggling, that can't seem to get it together or figure it out?
You got to believe in yourself enough. If you've got this in your gut, and you are working on any kind of business, you are clearly, you were designed for more, because you wouldn't be listening to this. You wouldn't be doing the things that you're designed for this. Find somebody to help you move forward. I don't care if you're scared. I don't care if you sweat bullets and you feel like you're going to throw up. Do it anyway, because you're in this position to be more than what you're doing right now. And I just hope that maybe something I said or somebody else said will push you over the edge to just keep going, because you've got to learn some skills. You've got to, get in front of some new people. And you just have to be scared enough to keep going. Just keep going.
I'm telling you, I think that you're right. You got to find that. It just kills me to see. I mean, you and I both know, everybody knows, there's people that drop dead on this planet every single day that still have their music in them, that they didn't never even tried, never even put. They're so afraid of failure. They're so afraid of being made fun of. They're so afraid of, well, my mama always said this, or my daddy always said this. And oh, I can't go against that, and that just, that kills me, breaks my heart, because I think that there's so much more available to this planet. And
our world is too big to stay in one small little pile.
Amen. I agree. Yeah. Totally agree. Well, you are an absolutely amazing rock star. I'm so grateful that Mindy connected us. So Mindy was on here. I don't know if she still is, but thank you, Mindy. And thank you to everyone who watched this, everyone who shared it out. And Angela, how could everybody follow you if they wanted to follow you? Where's the best place?
Facebook. If you're what is there, 1.5 billion people on Facebook?
Yeah.
Come and find me over on Angela Brooks Biz, B-I-Z, and say hello. Just let me know that you saw this, and by all means, let's
Yeah. I'm sorry about the internet issue. It's been a little choppy. I don't know who's
All right.
yours or mine, but don't
I was
matter.
going to say that's trying to shut us down, and that's not happening.
That's right. Well, Angela, thank you so much. Don't hang up on me, but I'm going to end the live stream here. So, everyone who watched, thank you. If you shared this out, you get a special thank you. So, thanks a lot. Appreciate all of you. Angela, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Likewise. We'll see y'all later. All righty.